AI video is everywhere right now. You see it on social media. You hear people talking about it. You probably even think, yeah, I should be using AI video in my business too. And yet, you're not. Not because you don't want to, or not because you're lazy, or not because you're bad with technology. It just never quite happens. The reality is, tons of people want to start using AI video for their business, but only a small fraction are actually doing so right now. So in this video, I'm going to show you what's holding so many people back from using AI video in their business, and I'm willing to bet it's not what you think. Many people assume the reason they are not using AI video in their business is because they haven't picked the right tool. They think, once I figure out which AI video platform to use, then I'll get started. But that's not actually where things are breaking down. The real issue shows up before software even enters the conversation. For many people, the choice of which AI video software to use is not the real issue. The real issue is even more basic than that. What are you even trying to do with AI video? And if you've never used AI video before, that's not an easy question to answer. So when people get stuck there, a lot of them do what I've done in the past. They focus on the software instead. They watch demos, they compare platforms, they poke around because messing with these tools feels productive. But it also lets you avoid the harder question, and that is figuring out where AI video actually fits into your business. So you keep telling yourself, yeah, I just need to find the right AI video platform, when in reality, that's often just a diversion from answering the tougher question, which is, what should I even be doing with AI video for my business? Okay, so let's assume you have done the hard part. You've actually thought this through. You know where AI video might fit into your business. You have a rough idea what you want it to do. Now comes the next step. You have to pick an AI video platform. And this is where a lot of people hit a second point of resistance. Because the moment you start looking around, you realize there is not just one option. There are dozens. This one does text to video, this one does avatars, another one promises cinematic results. So now you're not asking, how does AI video fit into my business? You're asking which AI video platform is the right one to use. And obviously you don't want to make the wrong choice. So you slow down. You do more research. You tell yourself you'll come back to it later. Every platform has its own pros and cons. When you're trying to decide which one is best, you don't want to make the wrong choice. So you end up in another endless mental loop. Now let's assume you've made it this far. You've thought through how AI video might fit into your business. You've looked at a few platforms. You've picked one that seems right for your situation. Now comes the next thing most people do. They start looking for AI video examples. They open YouTube, they scroll social media, they see AI videos everywhere. And a lot of what they see looks amazing. Cinematic shots, perfect lighting, videos that look like they took a full production team to make. And without realizing it, that's where the bar gets set. So instead of asking, would this actually be useful for my business? You start asking, can I make something that looks like this? And that's the trap. Because most businesses using AI video are not creating flashy cinematic content. Instead, they're creating practical videos. Short, specific, and many times, frankly, kind of boring. They're not trying to impress anyone. They're just trying to explain something or answer a question. But based on the examples you saw online, you set the bar way higher than it needs to be. So you end up trying to create something over the top and impressive when the job really only calls for something useful. And because you set the bar so high, you never end up completing and shipping a usable AI video. And once again, your progress stalls. And here's the final point of resistance that quietly kills AI video for a lot of businesses. At some point, people start thinking, well, if I'm going to do this, I need to do it right. Go big or go home. And that's where things start to spiral. Because instead of thinking about just one useful AI video, they start thinking about building an entire system, a whole content strategy, a repeatable process, a library of videos, something they'll have to maintain over time. So it started out as a small experiment, now suddenly feels like a major commitment. It's similar to exercise. A lot of people avoid working out because they think it'll mean joining a gym, or buying new workout clothes, or finding the perfect routine, or committing to going 5 days a week. When in reality, the first step could just be putting on your shoes and going for a walk. AI video works the same way. one useful video is doable, but turning AI video into an ongoing thing for your business starts to feel complicated and time-consuming. So people tell themselves, I'll come back to this when I have more time, or when I can plan it properly, or when I can really commit to it. And of course, that moment never arrives. Not because AI video is hard, or not because you're incapable, but because a simple starting point quietly got inflated into a long-term obligation it was never meant to be. So instead of starting with one small, useful AI video, you end up doing nothing. And once again, progress stalls. And when you zoom out and look at all this together, a pattern starts to emerge. This is not a motivation problem. It is not a creativity problem. It is definitely not a tools or software problem. Most people don't fail at creating AI video. The truth is, they never really got out of the gate because their expectations were off from the start. They try to pick software and tools before they're clear on what type of AI video they even want to make. They keep putting off decisions instead of choosing just one small direction to begin with. Or they judge business videos by what looks cool online instead of what's useful and practical. And they expect the first real use of AI video to feel exciting when in reality, well-done business videos are often boring and mundane. So when you think about it like this, the resistance people feel toward creating AI video actually makes sense. Not because anything is wrong with you, but because the way most people think AI video is supposed to work doesn't match real life. And once you see these patterns clearly, the whole situation around AI video changes. Not because it suddenly becomes easy and not because the challenge of creating AI video magically disappears, but because the internal resistance you've been feeling towards creating AI video now finally makes sense.